Kellen,
Yeah.
obviously the slow starts have been an issue. So what is it with the scripts you think that haven't played to the strengths of your players or what you're seeing defensively?
Yeah, obviously we haven't started games the way we wanted to. Obviously this week being a bye week, we're just doing such a deep dive on so many things, and so this is a really fun task for us to navigate and just find a way to get going sooner, get going quicker, because there are moments coming out of second halves we've had successful drives just coming out of it, but we obviously got to start faster, and so that's a big focus for us, just to continue to evaluate that and find our way.
What's your philosophy toward the opening script? Is it to see what the defense presents? Is it your best stuff of the week? How would you explain it?
Every week can take different paths. In general, usually it's about identifying the defense and getting touches to your players, and so those are really your main focuses there. Obviously we got to do a better job. I got to do a better job of finding that for us and allowing us to be more successful there.
So in this game specifically,
Are they consistently different than what you expected in each game so far to start out?
To start the games?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think certainly there's going to be a flavor every game. I think defense do a tremendous job. Certainly you've seen it the last few years of giving you a little different presentation each and every week. We know certainly with the way we play our style, we're going to get some different looks maybe than we had anticipated, and so I think our guys do an excellent job. There's some really good examples of just playing adjustment football within the games. Obviously, we just got to start faster. As simple as that.
in this game specifically,
To start the game this week, but is Saquon's play making you sort of reevaluate how quickly you want to get the ball in his hands and how often you want to get it into his hands early?
Yeah, I obviously want to get the ball to Saquon as much as possible, just like a lot of these guys. But obviously, poor job just finding the rhythm in that game to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then put yourself in a really challenging situation where you're going to have to play catch-up ball for the rest of the game, and you still don't want to lose the run game. You still want to try and keep it alive. Obviously, certainly we got to get him more touches.
You mentioned
how much did the flow of this
you
game
mentioned the
specifically
studies.
change what you guys were, what the game plan was offensively?
Obviously, we just simply didn't do a good enough job starting the game. Starts with me just giving ourselves the best opportunity to be successful early in the game, to keep ourselves in that balanced attack. We know the way Todd's going to play it. He's going to do an excellent job of making it challenging for you up front. But obviously, we put ourselves in a challenging situation, and got to find a way to evaluate that, put ourselves in better positions moving forward, learn from it, grow from it.
But I mean, you came out in a bunch of heavy packages early, and then by the fourth play of the game, you're down 14-0. You're fighting from behind. Did that change? Was that the plan coming in, to be able to lean on that stuff, and then you had to sort of play catch up?
We obviously went into a point of the game where possessions became possessions and time became a little bit of an aspect of it, just because we understood we had to get this thing going. Felt like tempo also allowed us to play a little bit faster, a little cleaner. We had that good tempo drive in the second quarter where we were able to drive down and score a touchdown. It just kind of brought some juice and some energy back into us. And then we started the second half off, great with Saquon obviously makes the phenomenal run. We finished that one off. We're moving. And then, we just weren't able to finish it.
Kellen, during the summer, it seemed like we saw a lot of quick game with Jalen, where he's getting the ball out fast, kind of being that point guard that he talks about. At least the public metrics say that he's 32nd in the NFL right now with, time before throw. So what's kind of happening there? Is that something that you need to get back to?
Certainly part of the bye week process as far as us of what are we doing well, what can we improve on, and really focus on how can we move forward and pass game wise, obviously find completions, all that good stuff. Starts with how we design it, how we call it. We obviously have some great opportunities to grow, and it's exciting just because we get 4 weeks of evaluation, and then we get a little chance to reset here and then put our eyes forward. And so we know we got some really exciting, positive opportunities that we can grow from.
I imagine that Jalen's involved in the game planning. You're going to obviously do what he likes, but what is that process, and how much is it more or less versus where you've been previously?
I think it's, at the end of the day, for all of us, it's just a continuous conversation throughout the week as far as we're putting the plan together, and then as we're practicing the plan and just going through those paths and navigating and having those conversations. It's been a really good process. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously, we're all not where we want to be. That's part of this, and so we're excited about where we can take this thing. We're really excited.
What was your view of the strip sack, and what was the intent of that play? Were you trying to push downfield there on first down?
Yeah, obviously a position where we kind of got into the high red zone. Felt like potentially we had an opportunity to try and drive it into the end zone based off the coverage that they were playing, and you know, obviously it didn't happen. And so obviously you're frustrated with, you know, the overall outcome of that particular play. And so had a potential opportunity, didn't happen, kind of got late in the process, and the guy, you know, retraced and made a really good play on Jalen.
Kellen, conventional wisdom says when you fall behind, you throw. But when your biggest big play weapon might be a running back, how does that kind of change the equation?
Biggest challenge is just keeping the run game alive in those situations, and you know, I think the first drive of the second half, getting that run, getting another run, that, you know, really that drive, we were able to steal a few run opportunities there. The goal is to keep it alive, you know, obviously, because the more times we can get it to Saquon and Jalen can run it in situations, you know, the more we're going to have a chance to balance out the defensive attack, not make us one-dimensional, and so we got to do everything we can to keep that balance.
What were some of the issues with the pass protection as you saw it? What were some of the issues with pass protection in your opinion?
You know, I think from a protection standpoint, we put ourselves in a lot of really challenging situations, and obviously, you got to be really, you know, I think you can draw focus on the obvious passing situation, but we got to be clean on first and second down. We got to put ourselves in those situations where we can have the threat of the run game still alive. And so, you know, a couple of those came in those third and really longs, fourth and longs. You know, when you put those in there and the defense can kind of play pass rush mode and kind of play, Todd's going to do an excellent job of gaming it up and bringing, you know, combination pressures. You're going to put a lot of stress on it.
We mentioned bye week.
The first play of the game.
Yeah, first play of the game, obviously. You know, we're just trying to get the thing started. Obviously, for myself, I'm really focused on how can I help him in any possible way from a play design and from a play calling sequence standpoint. And you know, that the first drives really is a great growth opportunity for us coming out of this bye week that we can, you know, we haven't been successful in 4 weeks. Doesn't mean we have to follow that trend moving forward. We can find our solutions and our better way to handle this.
The first play this past game, when you watched it back, the one where he missed Saquon, what's the message or the coaching point when you talk to Jim?
Yeah, those are challenging situations where you're rolling out, and obviously there's a big play potential opportunity, but obviously from a QB's vision standpoint, obviously we can see it from a wide camera angle and see these open, but you know, kind of hard to see if you can identify where the safety's at as the throw goes, and so you know, it ended up out of bounds, unfortunately, and so you know, not the end of the world. Obviously, we got great opportunities to grow past that.
You mentioned the bye week process. Obviously, it's early, not the biggest sample size. Does that complicate things, especially when you don't have AJ for the majority of that time when you're trying to study the offense as a whole?
Yeah, good discussions. I think it's just an awesome opportunity for us collectively as a staff with the players yesterday, just to have those conversations and really look at the data, but then look into the context obviously associated with it. Because, you know, for example, this last game, obviously we got in too many obvious pass situations, and so that can dilute some of the circumstances that you're throwing the football in, and so. You know, personnel obviously factors go into some of those situations, but it's a really great opportunity for us just to grow from this and kind of look at it and see, okay, there's certainly some positives within this, and there's some great opportunities to grow.
Does Jalen need to go through his reads faster?
No, I think Jalen's doing a really good job as far as handling this thing. I think for myself, it's about sequence. It's about when we call the plays, allow ourselves opportunities to grow there. You know, I'm really excited with where we can take this thing.
Why is it taking so long to get production from Jahan?
I think Jahan's going about this the right process. He's done a really nice job as far as coming in here and getting acclimated. Again, like a number of our guys, you know, I think our focus on is how can we give these guys the best opportunities to be successful, give them more targets, more looks. You know, I think he had some in there, and we just weren't able to get to him.
Does Jalen need to work on his ability to trust the receivers who aren't AJ and Devontae?
No, I think Jalen's handled a number of different guys playing a number of different roles this past few weeks, and so those are situations that, you know, the more you spend time around those guys, the more you build that cohesiveness, the anticipation, and all that fun stuff. You know, I think that'll come, and so we're excited about these guys. You know, we got a great depth in that receiver room, and we're going to need these guys as the season goes on because you know, a lot of guys are going to have to play and be counted on.
What's your holding the offense back from where you want it to be?
Obviously, ultimately, you know, I think from a rhythm and a timing standpoint, I think, you know, for us, we just got to continue to grow and evolve with that. It starts with me as far as play calling, sequencing, building ourselves better rhythm as an offense, and yeah, I think we've moved it fine. for the most part. The stats will tell you, like, we're moving it okay. We just got to, finish in the red zone. We got to put ourselves in more manageable and cleaner third down situations. That goes back to first and second down. And, I think we got some great opportunities to grow because, there's some production there, and we're excited where we can take this thing.
What's your process to coach to correct turnovers?
Yeah, turnovers, continued discussion. Obviously, try and drill as much of it as we can, from the ball security standpoint, for the running backs, for the pocket. The interception situation, obviously we've had 4 this year, and those come into, part play calling and part, just how the situations play themselves out. And so, obviously it's a big focus for us. Obviously it's gotten us a couple times in a few of these games, and so we get to grow from this and be better.
What's your philosophy when it comes to making corrections with the quarterback during the week?
Yeah, no different than any other position. Obviously we all go through the corrections process, talking through it. It starts with a team situation, then it goes to the offense, and then it goes to position coaches. And obviously we go through this process consistent, just like we do any other week with any other players.
Okay, thanks.